Code to Enhance Learning presents the CEL video series for creating apps in Thunkable. Through this video series, we aim to introduce you to the world of creating your own apps through platforms like Thunkable. Hello everyone, this is Ayush and I'm excited to see you all today. As you all know, I love coding and I am a regular participant at CEL Hackathon. I will be your host for today. Welcome to the 7th episode of the series Business App to create a pizza ordering application. We are doing this video in two parts. In the last video, we covered the first part focused on designing the app. In today's episode, we will focus on coding the app. In the last episode, we created the design of a business app for ordering pizza online. We designed our app with 4 screens which look like this. Today, we will work on making our business app fully functional by writing the codes. Sounds interesting, right? We will add functionalities in the business app for easy pizza ordering. Let's go to the blocks section to write the codes for screen 1, which is the splash screen. When screen 1 opens, we want the animation to play, so we will wait for 4 seconds. After which, we will open screen 2, which is the order screen. This brings us to task 1. Write the codes for screen 1 in Thunkable to display an animation and the app opens. Before we start coding screen 2, we will learn about lists. A menu usually has multiple items for the customer to order from, right? If you remember, in our app, we have 3 types of pizzas. Well, we cannot create separate variables for each menu item as it will create complexity in our project. So, we will use lists. Just like variables, lists are places where you can store information, but lists can store multiple bits of information at the same time. Where have we come across lists in real life? Some examples of lists include the list of days in a week, the list of students in a class, the list of colors in a rainbow, etc. Can you guess where we can find lists in our project? That's right. We can use a list to store all the items we have in our menu. Isn't that cool? Let's see how we can code this project. Now, we will come to the block section of screen 2, which is the order screen. We need to store the quantity of 3 menu items, and this will change as per the user's order during the project. Here, I will create a list named order with 3 items and initialize all 3 values to 0. I will also create another variable called order total to store the total value which will be displayed in the next screen. I will initialize order total to 0. When order screen opens, we will set the quantities of the menu items to the items in the list. First, we set the pepperoni quantity to item 1 of order list. We set cheese and soda quantities to items 2 and 3. Now, we will write codes to increase the order quantities. When Pep plus button is clicked, we increase the first list item corresponding to the pepperoni pizza by 1. We also update the pepperoni quantity label to the first list item. We will repeat these codes for the other 2 menu items as well. The codes will look like this. Now, we will write codes to decrease the order quantities. When pep minus button is clicked, we need to first check if the quantity ordered is greater than 0. If it is greater than 0, we decrease the first list item corresponding to the pepperoni pizza by 1. We also update the pepperoni quantity label to the first list item. We will repeat these codes for the other 2 menu items as well. The codes will look like this. When next button is clicked, we will multiply the item quantity with the item cost for each item and then add all the values together. We will store this value in the variable order total. After this, we will navigate to screen 3, which is the address screen. The code looks like this. Let us look at a demo of the project till here to see if it is working fine. We are at the splash screen, which moves to the order screen after 4 seconds. In order screen, I order 2 of pepperoni, 1 of cheese and 1 of soda. Now I change the pepperoni to 1. This is my final order, so I press the next button. It moves to the address screen. Our app is working till now. This brings us to task 2. Write the codes for screen 2 in Thunkable and test to see if it works. Initialize a list with values, increase or decrease the order quantity, and calculate the total order value. Before we code the address screen, we will need to understand how we can store the address which the user enters to be available for later use when the app is closed. For this, we will be using Airtables. An Airtable is a spreadsheet but actually acts like a database, so it can do database-like things like store attachments, that is, images in your spreadsheets and not just text, and link records between spreadsheets. We need the API key of an Airtable to create, read, update and delete records from it. An application programming interface API key is a unique identifier used to authenticate a user, developer or calling program to an API. However, they are typically used to authenticate a project with the API rather than a human user. Different platforms may implement and use API keys in different ways. Airtables can be found in data sources on the left side of the screen. Let us now see how to use the Airtable component. Before coding the address screen, I am going to first create an Airtable which will store address details for future use. Go to the site airtable.com and sign up to create your account. Since I already have an account, I am going to sign in. In the home screen, I will click on Start from Scratch. It opens a new database table with some default fields. I am going to rename the base to Pizza Delivery App. Now we will create the table fields to match our address page. The first column is name, so I leave it as it is. The second column I will change to address with field type as long text. Next column will be city with the field type as single line text. Next will be state with single line text. Next will be card with single line text. At last, I will create total, which will be a currency value. Now, I will delete all the blank rows from this table. This completes the creation of our Airtable. Now, we need to link the Airtable to our app using the API key. We click the username on the top right of the screen and choose the account option. I will click on Developer API Hub. In the next screen, click Use API Keys and your API key will be displayed in the purple box. We will copy this key to our clipboard. In Thunkable, I click on Data option, which is on the top left of the screen. I click the plus to bring up the data sources. We can connect to Thunkable and click on Create New. I choose Airtable. Then I paste the API key here and click Refresh. Then I select my database pizza delivery app and click Create. Now you can see that the database is visible in my data sources. Next, we go to the Blocks tab for screen 3, the address screen. First, we need to display the total at the top. So when the address screen opens, we set the total label text to the variable order total and also add a $sign ahead. Next, we need to capture the details entered by the user in the Airtable. When the order button is clicked, we use the create row block from data sources to create a new row in our table. We then map the text fields to each of our Airtable fields we created earlier. Once done, we navigate to the order confirmation screen. We now code the back button, which will take us to the previous screen when clicked. The code looks like this. This completes the coding of our address screen. We will test the app once we complete the coding of screen 4. This brings us to task 3. Write the codes for screen 3 in Thunkable and test to see if it works. We will now code the last screen. So let's move on to the blocks of the order confirmation screen. When the place another order button is clicked, we navigate to screen 2, which is the order screen, to place another order. This brings us to the end of the app. Please note the Airtable features works only on your phone. So now I will connect my phone to the live test on device feature of Thunkable and test the whole app. Let's see how it looks. So we are at the splash screen. In 4 seconds, we move to the order screen. Here, we enter our order. Then we click the next button. In the next screen, the total value is displayed. We then enter our address and card number. We click the place order button. This brings us to the last screen, which shows the order confirmation message. We take a look at the Airtable and see that the address we provided is saved in the database. We have a fully functional app now. This brings us to task 4. Write the codes for screen 4 in Thunkable and test to see if it works. Wow! Now you have become smart enough to build a complete business app in your smartphone. How amazing! Please share this app with your friends and family and surprise them with your skills. Let us do a recap of the concepts we learned by taking a short quiz. What are API keys? Pause the video and try to answer. The answer is D, a unique identifier to authenticate a user, developer, or calling program to an API. We hope you got that right. In the next episode, we will create a space game, and I am sure you all are going to love coding as well as playing the game. Stay tuned. This is Ayush signing off. Bye.